Hey, what's going on, guys? And welcome to another podcast. So, today's podcast is with Ryan Hogue, where we're going to be discussing print on demand. We're going to talk about his story, how he started in 2017, how he left his 9 to 5 job and made print on demand and other bits and pieces around print on demand because he likes to do print on demand as a complementary way to make money, right? So, not just print on demand, but other bits and pieces around it. And that's what we're going to be discussing today. Ryan, thank you very much for joining this podcast. Welcome to the show. So, do
Hey,
you want to
Eddie.
give a background about yourself? Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited to be here. Yeah, I live in Northern Virginia. We were kind of joking before we hit record about how bad traffic can be, even across the pond where you are, man. It's everywhere. So
I
that was
know.
all the motivation I needed to not want to work 9 to 5. That really motivated me every single day, sitting behind the next guy bumper to bumper. I was like, there must be something better than this. And I used to be a web developer. And the one thing I always like to be transparent about is I used to do my like side hustles at work. When I was done with
Mm,
work for what they paid me to do, I didn't just kind of mess around and waste time and wait to go home. Like I immediately would switch over to making my own money. I always thought to myself like I'm there to make money, so I should make as much as I can. You know what I mean? Not just what they paid me 9 to 5, but anything on top of that was just extra. So yeah, man, my whole story really with making money kind of has been this complementary approach. Like even before print on demand, I took my skill set as a web developer. I worked 9 to 5. I had my own web development, company, if you want to call it that. It was just me. I didn't have other employees,
mm,
but had my clients. I would charge them to build websites, charge them hosting fees. And I also had some websites of my own that, did really well in terms of like SEO and traffic. And, there's different ways to monetize web traffic as well. So I did some of that. Ultimately, I realized it wasn't passive enough though. So that really motivated me to find, e-commerce and really it started with Amazon FBA, but that also coincided with me finding out about Amazon merch. And the rest is kind of history from there.
yeah, that's crazy, man. I mean, trust me, I have a similar story to you. Like in 2017, end of 2017, I literally had enough of working for other people, working for for corporations. They're making all the money. We're just taking, just the crumbs. I don't want breadcrumbs. I want it all, man. So that's why I decided to do something for myself. But yeah, we were just joking about traffic, man. Me getting here, I literally had it planned that I would get here 5 minutes before we start. I've got everything ready, set up, and then I ended up being late about 8 minutes. What a shocker! All
No
due to
worries.
traffic. Imagine doing that every single day, and that's not even rush hour. Imagine doing that in rush hour, like 9 or 8 in the morning. People wake up really early, like 7 o'clock, to try and get to work for 9. I
I like my
could not
sleep.
do that again. Yeah, of course, of course. And then 5 p.m., 6 p.m., it's literally gridlocked everywhere. But yeah, thanks, man. This is a great background and story. And a lot of entrepreneurs kind of go through the same thing, I would say. They've had enough of the status quo and they want to kind of forward with depth and do something different. But you are in print on demand right now, fully in, right? But you have this
Absolutely.
complementary approach where you want to do the work once and then get it to work for you in different places. Do you want to tell us why print on demand in particular? What drew you into print on demand in particular?
Yeah, it started with me browsing Reddit and looking at subreddits related to making money online. Someone posted about Amazon merch. I applied in 2016. I never heard back and I forgot about it. And then I saw it again in 2017, I think March or maybe February even. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to apply again. This does sound really good. This time I heard back. I got into the, Amazon merch and I was like, all right, now what do I do? I was like everybody else. I just kind of sat there, didn't use the account for probably a month. And I was like, you know, like I was a web developer. I would sit there with plenty of time to do what I wanted. I was like, you know what? I should dive back into there. There's probably something worthwhile here. So I remember one day just jumping in and saying, you know what? I'm going to upload my first t-shirt, and just kind of made it a habit of every day uploading tier 10, one design a day. I made my first sale on like a stupid like honestly, it was like a quote from the show South Park, but it wasn't like related to South Park. You know what I mean? It was just
Yeah,
something that like a character said. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to throw this on a shirt because that was like what
yeah.
popped into my mind
Just
that
see what
day. And
happens.
dude, when you make the sale, it just, you get hooked. You know, that first sale is the best one. Um, and from there, it's just kind of, you scale up your Amazon merch account. You know, you go from the low tier to tier 25 to 100, etc. And at some point that same year, I realized because I was selling FBA, I realized I could sell print on demand on Amazon Seller Central as well. So it's like, oh, a light bulb went off. Like, all right, this is, you know, I can take these t-shirt designs from merch and now I can sell them on a coffee mug, you know? And I was using back then the Gear Bubble integration because that was the only one that I had ever heard of. I ended up actually paying them like $2,000. You know what I mean? So instantly I'm like in the hole for my print on demand. Dude, I had all the money from Amazon merch and all of a sudden I'd spent all of it plus some because they said they would give me lifetime integrations. You know, nowadays, obviously, these companies don't charge you monthly to use
Mm,
them, but Gear Bubble, of course, did. And I think they still do, honestly. I don't really recommend them because I don't know why anybody should pay monthly, but I
mm.
basically paid $2,000 back then for the lifetime integration, so I didn't have to pay monthly. And then after that, it was
I'm
just
sure
like,
you made
good.
that month. I'm sure you made that money back anyway. So
Oh, we made it back. But that's
it's
like good
okay.
motivation also to like to actually use it. You know what I mean? Instead of just like having the
Mm,
integration, not using it. When I start off $2,000 in the hole, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make this work. So you know that's where it started. It was like Amazon merch, then Seller Central. I think the next year, 2018, I found out about Etsy, right? And I started posting to Etsy. I think Etsy print on demand was possible earlier, but I think I waited to jump on there a little bit late. But my Etsy shop took off like right away, just posting the same designs that I had on my Amazon merch. I ended up getting banned the next year in 2019 because you know it's Etsy. Of course, I did.
mm.
You know, jump back on later, but yeah, it's just been a journey of to me and like with my web developer background and my SEO background, just really like optimizing for search. I just thought to myself like I want to be in as many of these marketplaces as possible. Like to start, I want when someone searches on Google for something I'm selling, I want to be like on every single link
Mm.
possible. I want to link to my Etsy listing, my Amazon listing, my Walmart listing, eBay listing, Redbubble, you know? Um, and really like it's like I want Google to rank there, but then also I want to rank high on those internal searches for those websites. And I think it's just simple logic, right? Like at a high level,
Yeah,
it's like occupy. I call it occupy as much online real estate as possible, and that's
yeah.
all I ever aimed to do, you know. And I was always willing to put in the work, you know. I use a lot of automation these days, but when I first started, man, like I was willing to manually upload all the time. Like I uploaded over 13,000 products to Amazon merch manually before I ever used like
Mate,
Merch Titans
we did
automation.
that back then. Back then, there
Yeah,
was no automation at one point. We had to. I remember there was only t-shirts, and even before the hoodies and sweatshirts came,
yeah,
right? There was only
just two shirts.
t-shirts,
Yeah,
premium and standard, and you had to open like a few tabs,
yep.
and then there was a system that we
The
used to do,
keyboard
right? Like
shortcuts.
we, yeah, the keyboard shortcuts. Oh, that's crazy, man! Imagine doing all of that manually, but then it pays off, right? And I always say it. People these days have so much advantage over, you know, uh, people that used to work on merch in the early days because there's a lot of tools these days, right? Automation, you know, research, all sorts of things. People just get to work to do the work, right? But back then we didn't have a choice. We just had to do what needed to be done. So that first T-shirt that you sold, if I'm not mistaken, it was like $9 in royalties, right?
I think I priced it at 14.99, which back then
Oh, okay. You
paid I
didn't do
think like
1999.
$3 or $4 though. You know what I'm saying? It paid a lot more back
Insane.
then. Yeah,
Right. So at 1999, I think they used to pay like $9 or something.
a
That was
lot.
crazy, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, and then slowly but surely it started, dropping down. But then again, they've got more marketplaces. They've got more, products, and I'm sure
yeah,
there's going to be more products coming in as well. So, and maybe other marketplaces. The industry is growing and growing, and Amazon is killing it right now. So hopefully there'll be more stuff coming in. Now, why in particular POD in particular? You could have got into anything, right? Apart from the whole complementary approach and the fact that you could do so many things with one kind of design, why couldn't you get into something else? What really drew you into print on demand? Is it just the fact that you heard it from someone and you kind of went down that rabbit hole, or was there anything else in particular?
Yeah, I would say dumb luck initially. Just that Reddit, I mean,
Yeah,
it's luck, but it's not, right? Because I was browsing a Reddit forum dedicated to making money online. So how much of it's really luck,
yeah,
right? But also, it's like I took time out of my day to read it. I took action. I applied. I applied twice.
yeah,
Um, you know what I mean? And I followed through when I got accepted. But also at the same time, like I was learning Amazon FBA. Like I actually hired an FBA coach in late 2016,
yeah,
because it's hard to navigate all that on your own. And there's the threat of like with FBA, that means kind of selling a physical product that I source from overseas, get it shipped to the Amazon warehouse. Like you're in the hole a couple $1,000 for your product inventory and shipping right away. You know what I mean? So I've got that going on one hand, and then I've got Amazon merch going on in parallel. You know what I mean? And this is when I hadn't made a single sale yet. And if you had to compare the two to each other, I mean, I thought FBA had more upside because I didn't know, Amazon merch, what it was going to turn into. They both
yeah.
have a lot of upside, obviously, today, but like learning them in parallel with Amazon merch, I've got $0 invested, right? So it's kind of, that was nice. That was a nice way of me learning and feeling comfortable about the whole Amazon seller ecosystem. Like, even though the Amazon merch portal is different than Seller Central, where I'm, creating my FBA product listings and launching a whole brand of products. But like Amazon merch initially, when I just had one FBA product and I'm like scared that I'm going to fail, launching those t-shirts helped me get practice, like just with keywords, you know what I mean? Just learning how the bullet
Yeah.
points work and how you get indexed and how you can tweak a title and see how that boosts your SEO. You know what I mean? So it was nice to be able to like just play around for free and translate that into knowledge that I use to benefit my FBA business.
Perfect, man. Really, really good. And tell us about what you do with your complementary approach, other than merch by Amazon and and FBA. I guess what I want to hear, what I want to hear in your answer is how do you put it all together? That's the kind of
Yeah,
question,
yeah.
basically.
So
How do you put it all together? Because a normal person would hear this and they'll be like, "Oh wow, we do all this. How do you do it? How do you find the time in the day?" So I guess the question is multifaceted. So I guess how do you put it all together? What does your
mhm,
productivity look like, right? Your time management. This is a massive question, so we have to break it down.
of course.
Take your time to answer, right?
It starts with because it is a lot of work on the outside looking in. Like I started at age 13 being addicted to computers. That helps, having 20 years under your belt of like just every day. You know what I mean? Like we talked about, like when we're uploading manually to Amazon merch, we know all the keyboard shortcuts. So we're cranking out uploads way faster than people who don't know the shortcuts, right? Um, all of those things, like my decades of experience working on computers definitely helps me run an online business. I'm a lot faster than the average person, just saying. To start.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And then from there, man, like the complementary aspect really to me was just like, well, number one, it was like, how hard am I pushing myself? Do I feel like I can add something else to my plate? And I mean, it was really hard for me to find when I was officially maxed out. I don't think that happened until I was running a YouTube channel, honestly, years later. Running the online businesses though, like initially with, like I said, I started with FBA and merch, like they intersected at Amazon. If you are good at selling on Amazon, well, then that should translate into above average success with FBA and above average success with Amazon merch. And then in 2019, I finally made the leap because I had been hearing about KDP, but I hadn't tried it. You know what I mean? So in 2019, I started KDP, and what that really took for me was an entire weekend. I just blocked off everything. I felt really bad actually because I had a friend who was having a baby shower, but like he lived like an hour away, but there was a car accident like on the way, and there was like 2 hours. I just told him I'm not coming. Dedicated
Oh,
the whole weekend to
damn.
KDP, from no knowledge to like as good as I can get in 48 hours, basically. You know what I mean? But like I'm willing to put in that dedication because again, it's like it's Amazon. I already know now at that point 2 years of experience. Let me see if I can apply that and get an edge when it
Mm,
came to KDP. My brain was always thinking like that. Like if I was to go and start something like completely unrelated, from scratch, I have no advantage and it doesn't make sense. It's not using my skill set of being good at computers. But when I'm working in a computer ecosystem online on a marketplace that I understand, like I feel like I can justify that effort, that time. And kind of like when I talked about, you have a t-shirt design and you learn you can sell it on a coffee mug. And then you realize you can also take that same design and list it on a t-shirt, but not on Amazon, but on eBay, and then not on eBay, but on Etsy. And that's really been like kind of my whole journey has just been like, if I, initially, like when I'm spending all this time creating the best t-shirt designs that I can, researching, you know what I mean? Using tools like Merch Dominator that you have, um, free plug there, but research tools really do help, guys. You know what I mean? It's one thing to like have an idea in your head. Hey, I'm going to try to sell this. It's another to actually look at what is selling, which may have a negative connotation, but it shouldn't, right? Because when it's selling, it's customers saying, hey, I want to buy something in this niche. And I decided to purchase this product and not the other one. So we can take a hint that like this niche is in demand and this design style is in demand. And it's just like, take a mental note of that and carve out a piece of that pie for yourself. I mean, that's, the pie is typically huge. And that's really been, I don't know if that was a great explanation, but that's how my brain works,
100%, man. And you know what I really liked is the fact that you want something and you go after it. Like you want to learn about KDP, you blocked off a whole weekend, and it doesn't matter whatever happens. And I feel bad for your friend, by the way, but I'm sure that it is a good excuse, right? You really want to block off that time to actually do something that is going to be beneficial for you then and in the future. I probably would have done the same thing. If it was 2 hours and I already had blocked off that weekend to actually learn something, I think that car accident was like the final straw. All right, I'm not going. That kind of thing. I have to prioritize my work. But see, this is the thing with entrepreneurs. When they want to do something, they'll find a way to do it and they'll do whatever it takes to accomplish that work. And this is what a lot of people don't understand about, the reality of working for themselves, working online or being an entrepreneur. You have to have so much patience, so much dedication, so much wanting to work without somebody getting you off the couch. You have to have so much discipline, man. You have to have so much heart, right?
I say you
will
have to
get
learn
knocked
to love
down. See, it's really hard to love it if you really don't.
Well, yeah.
Something has to kick in inside of you, some kind of that push, that drive, something that drives you. There has to be something there that pushes you to get to wake up and want to do this. You know what I mean? What is it for you?
No, man, I have these like mantras that have like gone with me through the whole journey. Like these little mantras, man. Like I have one that's I already talked about. Like occupy as much online real estate as possible is one that drove me. But like also, what was I gonna say? Damn it, now I'm like blanking on it. For me, it was like truly like when we're grinding, man. Like we're putting in this work when other people are just like kicking it, watching Netflix. It's like to me, I say like learn to love it. To me, it's like be a doer. You said be a doer. That's the biggest secret, honestly, to like being a successful entrepreneur is not making an excuse why you didn't do something. It's that you got it done, period. It doesn't matter how you got there. It's that you got there. It's not that you didn't get there, but hear me out. I have an excuse. Yeah.
Done is better than perfect. So instead of waiting
that was my
for you
last
to become
one.
perfect, just get it done.
I have one I say make it work for you. Like make it work for you. If you have 1 hour to give, tailor that hour to getting your like whatever you need to get done. Don't do a 3-hour task if you know you have 1 hour. Or if you can adjust and condense everything for the 1 hour, you must adjust. You know what I mean? Instead of making an excuse like a lot of people do.
Right. So that leads us to time management. Obviously, we spoke about, what you do and at length and stuff like that. Productivity, very important. So how do you stay always productive, Ryan? And how do you organize your day to fit you and your lifestyle and your family and all of that to make sure that you have that work-life balance and to also stay productive and maximize your productivity throughout the day?
No, it's a good question. And I mean, I got to have you on my channel for an interview because I want to ask you a lot of these same questions and learn about your side.
Cool,
so
we'll
have to do that.
Happy to do that. Definitely. No worries.
Yeah, I always like to learn from other people too. Like for me, number one, like a big motivating factor for me is I don't have kids yet, right? So I'm trying to get as much done now because I know it only gets harder, right? The time cushion, goes away when you have kids.
And
Um,
that's what I'm gonna talk about if I go to your channel because I've got a couple of kids, dude.
there you go.
It's different, but yeah, we'll talk about that. Well, I'll
Yeah,
get your perspective and you'll get my perspective. That would be cool.
I need yours, yeah,
Yeah,
eventually.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Of course, you'll get
for
there,
me, man,
right?
it's
You'll get there at one point. So you want to be prepared.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, for me, man, it's just been like number one, everybody's different. I know people that feel like they don't need a lot of sleep. Like for me, it's like I need eight hours minimum. So I already know that about myself. It was never going to work like working a 9 to 5 job if I had to wake up early. So I found a job that I didn't have to wake up early. You know what I mean? That was always a big thing for me. Like I need my sleep. I know this is unrelated to like business and making money, but at the same time, it's very for me very related. Is just
Yeah,
a very structured day. Not that I'm rigid in my time, but I've mentally blocked off like time to work, for these hours. I've got my gym session for these hours. Even things like for me, like eating clean, eating healthy. Not that I don't have, bad foods, but if I'm going to have bad foods, I'll do it like later in the night when I'm not at peak productivity. But if I'm, eating like I mean, just everybody's different. If I eat a bunch of carbohydrates right in the morning, it's going to slow me down like physically and
absolutely.
mentally.
I
It's
agree.
like so I
Couldn't
pay
agree
attention
more,
to those
mate.
things. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's really, I mean,
and
that's my secret, man. And I love like working out, like just staying physically fit, like getting the blood flowing. I have some of my best ideas literally like working out. You know what I mean? Business ideas. So
amazing. I think working out actually one of the biggest weapons you can weaponize to fight the day, right? Because
hmm
especially when you get it done in the morning, you
yeah,
got great endorphins flowing through your body, and you're feeling great. You want to conquer the day, and you feel like there's so much that you can do, and you feel like you can do it quickly, and your brain just works so much faster, and you have that energy that takes you through the day, right? People need coffee. You really don't need coffee when you have endorphins running through your body after you finish your workout in the morning. It's just amazing. So that's something
I
that I
agree.
can definitely relate to. I've been working out for, years, since I was like 16, working out properly. And even when I was a child, I used to work out, well, not doing like, bodybuilding or anything, but I used to like play basketball and football and all that stuff. So just like sports generally. And
Yeah,
as
yeah.
long as
No,
you're
same exact
moving,
for me.
that's all that matters. Oh, yeah?
Since
Cool.
16 for me too.
Yeah, so I think when you're used to working out, you literally cannot give up, right? It happened to me once where I literally just stopped working out, and it was the worst years of my life. I did it for like a year, especially around the pandemic time, and yeah, that's another subject, man. I put on like 10 kgs, which I didn't need to put on. Just ate crap. I didn't feel in the zone, man. Yeah,
That's
so
what it is, man.
working
Yeah.
out,
You get out of
yeah.
the zone and then you miss it.
Yeah. And then and it's so hard to get back in the zone. And when you're in the zone, you really do not want to leave that zone. And now what I'm doing is I'm literally fighting to never ever in my entire life leave that zone of, being mentally focused and working out and dedicated to, burning calories and eating right and all of that. So I think it literally, yeah, it does help. So I could relate to that, mate. So other than working out, what other tips can you give to people other than working out and blocking off certain times for the day to kind of doing your work? Are there any other tips and tricks that you can give the audience to stay productive and manage your time?
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing I'd really believe I excel at, it's like being productive at a computer. That's the
100%.
caveat. Like, it's not a coincidence that I excel at online business when I've been addicted to computers since I was 13. You know what I mean? I developed
Yeah.
the skill set and it's just built and built and built. There's always a next layer that you can kind of achieve. Like when I went from one monitor to two monitors to three monitors to four monitors, you know what I'm saying? It's like all of those add to my productivity, learning new keyboard shortcuts in the computer sense, like there's always a next level up. Like using I think it's like called WQHD primary monitor that's like 2560 by 1440 resolution.
Yeah.
If you guys aren't using that, try it, please. You will not regret it. All of those things I think really matter. You know what I mean? In the context of, hey, we're running an online business. Not being scared to try new softwares. You know what? One thing, man, that really made a difference in my life was like, I was a web developer, but I learned to program and I wasn't like a natural at it. Like I had to really bang my head against the wall a couple times. And to get better, like I volunteered basically to be a teacher's assistant, which is like not something I ever thought I would do, but I was like, I need to be better, you know. So I started tutoring
Yeah,
people, which helped me get better. You know what I mean? And I don't know if I mentioned it. I actually used to teach like web development at some point too for like 7 years, 7.5 years.
amazing.
Um, yeah, man, it's just because teaching makes you better, right? But like when you
Yeah,
learn to program and like zoom out, be objective, think modularly, like it applies beyond just like looking at code. It like applies to life. You know what I mean? Like it applies
yeah,
to if I see a task, like I can think of it almost like in a closed circle objectively and kind of break things down
yeah,
into small like independent pieces and tackle them one at a time, you know, in like a logical way.
yeah,
And so it helps with problem solving. That was a long-winded way of saying I feel like a better problem solver from learning to program. That really helped me
yeah.
too.
Absolutely. And I can relate as well because as an entrepreneur and creating my own software as well, I've had to interact with developers, and I've learned to like learn a lot of the skills that that they have to in order to operate. And it's amazing, man, developers. It really is, because like the way their brain works, it's crazy. It's all about get this done, solve this problem, da da da. And then you're also bringing your own perspective, but then it's them putting your ideas into work. I do
Hmm.
not know how to put it into work, but they have to like translate what I'm saying, because to them it's just like words, right? Or I want this software to do this, and then they have to put it into reality. They have to
Yeah.
turn it from just a concept into actually something that works, and it's just amazing. So I completely understand what you're saying there. It's yeah, it's just mind blowing, man. It's something that I've never experienced before working with developers. Yeah.
It's crazy, man.
So
But being a developer too is like it opens up a lot of like rabbit holes. Like I was so
yeah.
guilty of wasting so much time just writing code for things. Like my first online school that I opened on Teachable, dude, I spent like so long hacking that whole like online school to where it was like way too much time to manage it. You know, when I'm like trying to
Mm,
update my online courses, all the extra work I created for myself, you know, so it's like it's good and bad. You know, I ended up moving to a new platform in early 2023 and not doing that. Basically, like
perfect.
keeping it very simple.
Brilliant. So you have a whole online school where you teach print on demand, etc., etc. So what's it called? Ryan, right? Passive incomes. What's it called again? Do you
It's
want to
called Ryan's
give it a
Method,
plug?
and yeah,
Ryan's
I'll set
method.
you up,
Yeah.
and I'll set you up if you want to link it. I can give you a affiliate link in the description in case anybody
No
wants to
worries,
like
man.
check it out, man.
Just say the website. I don't mind,
It's
mate. Whatever.
ryans.method.com.
Yeah. So for anyone who's interested, go check out Ryan's online school. There's plenty of stuff there. You've got a mini course or something there.
Yeah,
You
dude,
got a
I
mini
made
course
a
for free. Yeah.
yeah. I don't know if it's linked there though. But yeah, you can go to ryanhogue.com/subscribe too,
Yeah.
and that will give
Yeah.
you my like third. It's a 20-day like very in
Yeah.
depth for beginners kind of like intro to print on demand.
Perfect. So there's people that do not want to pay and they want things for free, so they can always start
That's a
there.
great
And
option for
yeah,
free.
right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So we don't want to just like,
Yeah,
plug, paid stuff. Obviously, you want to give free value as well. And that's brilliant.
yeah, and daily
So,
YouTube videos too on my channel.
and daily YouTube, mate, how do you do that? Like, that's crazy. Daily YouTube videos. I don't know if I could commit to it now that I am married and have kids and I have a family. I don't even know if I could, do it as a single person or as someone who's not like married with kids.
Hmm.
I'm sure you are in a relationship. I don't know if you post that online or not, but you probably you are. Okay, but it's not the same as having kids and like the whole commitment to the
Of
family is
course.
crazy. I'm sure that you've got more time now.
When I have kids, I don't plan on daily content. I never planned on daily content, but it helped me get better at YouTube. You know, that there's
Yeah,
that one benefit. And then it also helped me like feel like I was learning YouTube faster and
yeah,
better. You know what I mean?
yeah. YouTube is a beast, man. It's
Yeah.
another it's another beast, man. It's another world. The amount of work that you have to put in is undescribable to maintain a YouTube channel, right? And yeah, hats off to you, man, for doing it every day and coming up with the topics and planning it and shooting it and sending it to all your email lists and all of that. It's not easy because
It's a lot of work.
I've got two, yeah, I have two like main YouTube channels. I kind of do what you do, but I record it twice. I record the same video twice in Arabic and in English, and I post it in the Arabic channel and I post it in the English channel, and we try and do 6 videos a week. But I do have the help of an editor, right? So podcasts like this, we will not edit them, but then things that will take too long to explain and stuff like that, we cut them down and we make it into digestible, like 12 to 15 to even 20-minute videos, right? But certain videos like doing niche research and stuff like that, we don't bother to edit. But still, like, I'm definitely maxed out because I've got an Instagram to manage and other bits and pieces. It is crazy.
Yeah, I
So
slack
like,
on Instagram and all that. You know what I'm saying? I stick to YouTube and I just kind of repurpose the content and post it to Instagram, but I'm not doing a good job on Instagram by any stretch.
but that's the thing. You literally cannot do everything, right? I
Right.
definitely want to do more Instagram. I want to do more YouTube videos, but I just can't. There's always a limit, you know. And that's what a lot of people don't realize is that, like, you to put out a video, like the effort that you're making is literally too much. They don't understand it. They think that, oh, you just record and put it. Oh, what about the thumbnail? What about thinking of the idea in the first place? What about if you've made a mistake in the middle of the video and you kind of like want to cut it? What about
Yeah.
thinking of
Edits.
the
I hate
title,
editing.
the edits?
Yeah.
You edit yourself?
Tags, all that crap, the description. Yeah. Learning a tool. A
Yeah,
lot of
all of
times I'm
that.
like learning a tool and sharing it. You know what I mean? It's like you have to go in there and figure it
Oh,
out, you know?
literally. Yeah, imagine
Yeah.
learning a tool and sharing it. That takes time. Just learning the tool for other people to watch, right? So
Yeah.
speaking of tools, do you want to tell us what tool you're using right now? You mentioned My Designs earlier, so let's give Curtis a plug. I really like the guy. Is always been helpful. I've been speaking to him, since I think 2019, since he came out with Merch Tyson's automation. So yeah, Curtis,
Yeah, he
if you're
really
in this video, hello mate. Yeah, so do you want to talk about My Design? Because I think I want to do a video about it maybe at some point in the future. Maybe have him on the channel and maybe get him to do a dive through and then just share it like that. I think that way people can benefit. Him explaining it would definitely be better than me explaining it because he's the creator. So
yeah,
do you
he
want to
teaches
talk
me.
really about it? Yeah,
He teaches me and I teach everybody on my channel.
yeah, cool.
Yeah, so Curtis, man, I
So
got to
how does
shout
it
him out
help you?
because he
Yeah,
made
cool.
me a lot of money, man. Like he reached out to me with his Merch Titans automation, and that was like right when my merch account was like tier 20,000. Then I think I went from 20 to 200 if I remember correctly. You know what I mean? And like if you give me upload slots, I'm gonna fill them. You know what I mean? Of course I am.
Yeah,
That tool made it possible though. You know, I wouldn't have done it manually. It would have been just too much, too daunting. So he started with a upload automation tool where I would take my designs, like catalog them into a spreadsheet, feed the spreadsheet into an uploader, and then just click go. And it would just work all day until my daily slots were maxed out. And then I would just do it the next day and then do it the next day. And that worked for merch, but it also worked for like Redbubble, TeePublic,
yeah,
Spreadshirt, Zazzle, Teespring, Society 6. So that was a nice way of me, again, occupying more online real estate and getting like a complimentary like return on my my investment, which was really just investing time to create the designs. But I'm all about that. In today I kind of am not as high on like the smaller markets. I'm really into the big markets, like we said, Amazon, Etsy, eBay, Walmart, probably the primaries. Redbubble to an extent too. But yeah, like with My Designs, this is the tool that he's been working on, I think, for the last 3 years, maybe. But he has like the same kind of core developers, and his development team is incredible, man. They're
yeah.
so good and they're so fast. So with this My Design software, for anybody watching this that sells like Amazon merch, take your designs and you can literally like I'm gonna make this sound like it's too simple, like I'm oversimplifying, but this is literally how you do it. If you can do this up to 120 designs at a time. So if I have like 120 designs in the July 4th niche, I can take those, drop them into My Designs, click upload. As long as the file names are like relevant keywords, even if it's just July 4th American flag or something, you know what I mean? But it should be relevant to the design. You can use that file name, feed it into their AI. The AI will go generate you a title and tags, and then you just kind of do a copy pastable description. So right now our time investment is like 2 minutes probably. Then you can
Beautiful.
go and create mockups in bulk for 120 listings at a time. And they have a bunch of mockups preloaded. So when I say mockups, I'm like saying if you want to sell it on a t-shirt on Etsy, you know what I mean? Like it integrates with Etsy right now and Shopify, but they're going to keep expanding. You can tell it 120 at a time, generate the primary mockup, generate the second mockup, the size chart, the color chart, the reviews if you want. You know what I mean? Whatever, all those extra images on Etsy that people do.
Yeah.
They just added a video, right? So they have a you can literally take, like, I like to take my first like 2 images, honestly, just keep it simple. And I'll just feed them in and it makes a video now. And then you can, so then when you click publish, it'll push all of the mockups, the video, all your optimized SEO, and their AI is trained on Etsy data. So it's like pretty good. It's not perfect yet, but it's like 80-90% of the way. It's much better than I could do, you know. Like I'm always looking for bulk solutions because you guys
Yeah.
already know I don't have time to be like
Of
doing that
course.
manually anymore. And then you can publish them to Etsy just like that, 120. And it takes like for
Amazing.
120 designs, let's just say 12 minutes.
That is
It's crazy.
insane, mate.
And they're
That's literally
polished,
insane.
quality designs, man. And you can upload your own custom mockups. So it's like whatever you're using that's working, you can just upload that into my design. So you're not sacrificing or losing anything. It's crazy.
Beautiful. So I spoke to Curtis, I think maybe in 20, no, actually, no, not even last year, the start of this year, when he didn't have all of this stuff. So this is news to me.
Dude,
Like
it's
the
rapid,
AI,
man.
the AI is news to me, right? I remember when you could upload your custom mockup. Yeah, that's fine. But I didn't know about this stuff, the AI stuff. I definitely need to speak to him again and get him on the channel to actually, do a full view of his tool and just a walkthrough works. I think people are definitely going
It'll
to
blow your
benefit
mind.
from it.
And they
Yeah,
also have an
it's
AI
crazy.
like text to image generator. I had him do a tutorial for like my closed group, and there were people making like 5 sales a day within 2 weeks. Like no joke. Like, and it's just generative
Beautiful.
AI. Like you type in the text prompt, it'll create the designs, and then we sell them as digital downloads. And there are
Yeah,
people, like, no joke, man. It's kind of how you like tailor it and how you frame it on Etsy
yeah,
for a
yeah,
specific niche basically. And but like it like worked right away, man. It was incredible.
yeah.
And that's integrated straight into
Great.
his app. Yeah.
Beautiful. So you making some decent money with it now?
Yeah, I'm making daily sales,
Yeah.
man. The biggest thing
Awesome.
for me was that the SEO AI, because before that I was just using my file names. Because again, I wanted a bulk solution. I
Yeah,
didn't want anything
yeah.
manual. Obviously, we can do it better if we're doing it manually. Um,
Of
but
course. But then
his
again,
AI is
you
much better.
sacrifice the time.
Right.
Yeah. So if you do it manually, you sacrifice the time because you have to write in your description and all of that, and that just
All your
eats your
tags.
time,
Yeah.
right? And tags and all of that.
The 20 character
Beautiful.
tags
So
killed me.
tell me about it. So definitely gonna get him on the channel to do a walkthrough, and I'm gonna give it a go myself as well. Even though I don't have time, I'll try and dedicate some time and then show that it actually works, and then show the audience how it kind of and what kind of results I got. I don't know if you did you do any videos about my designs, like
Yeah, I have a written
reviewing.
tutorial too if you want, man. Like I have
Okay,
like a literal like Word doc. I'll just send you the link. That way you don't
perfect.
have to watch a video, just do it on your own time. And you within like 10 minutes you'll be published.
Beautiful. No. I published with it before, but like the AI stuff, I haven't done it yet. So yeah, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah. I'll send you a video.
check out your video. I'll speak to Curtis, get him on the channel, get other people making money, man. Because like all these tools are crazy. People just have to like apply, man. That's all it takes. So we spoke about all these tools, and you doing the complementary approach and stuff like that. Do you want to talk about YouTube very short, very very quickly? How you integrate it with the complementary approach of print on demand? Why did you just start doing YouTube? And
Yeah.
does it make money? All right, for people that might be interested.
Yeah, absolutely. So disclaimer, like I never set out to do YouTube, right? Like I was not even sure if I was gonna
Same.
be successful selling on
Yeah.
Amazon. Like you start at like, am I going to be successful selling on Amazon? That's all I'm worried about. And as you scale, you get that, like you get a little confidence, a little swagger. You know what I mean? And then all of a sudden, I'm willing to talk about it a little bit. And again, my complementary approach to making money online, if I'm making money selling print on demand and I'm making money selling FBA and making money selling KDP, and I can talk about it on YouTube and make more money now, that just felt like a logical next step. The actual driver for me starting YouTube was that there was this guy, Kevin David, that was like selling Amazon FBA
Yes,
courses
another
back
guy.
in the day. And I mean, anybody that sold FBA that saw his videos knew that the dude was just full of crap. I mean, there's no other way to
I
put it.
know.
He didn't know what he was talking about. And so I
Dude, it's
was,
crazy what happened with, but yeah, that's
yeah,
another
he made tens
topic.
of
Yeah,
millions of
continue.
dollars and then got sued.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, man, that was my motivation because like I saw him ripping people off and I wanted to be like, guys, like I actually do this and I can teach you. You know what I mean? Like I have teaching
yeah.
credentials. Now I'm going to make my own course for FBA. And like, what's funny though is I started YouTube talking about only FBA and I got
Uh-huh.
like no views, man. But then I would every now and then do a print on demand video and it would get like 10 times the views. And so eventually it like clicked in my brain
It clicked.
because initially I didn't pivot yet. It took me months to figure out like never mind, just pivot to print on demand. And all of a sudden the channel kind of took off and it makes money on YouTube, man. You can I mean I know but anybody
Yeah,
watching, like depending on your niche, YouTube runs ads on your videos. I think even if you don't monetize them, they still run ads, but like I could be
yeah.
wrong. I've had YouTube Premium for
They
years, so
do.
I'm not
They do.
100%.
They do.
Yeah.
They do run ads on your channel, even if you're not monetized.
Yeah.
So they will
Someone
either
told
way.
me,
So you might as well run the ads, right?
yeah,
If you're monetized, you might as well turn them on.
a guy with like 100 maybe 200,000 subscribers, like I did a one-on-one call with him because he wanted help with like making his t-shirts and I wanted help with YouTube, so we just traded help. And he was like, dude, you have to monetize your videos, like start monetizing them. So he even told me like when to place the ads and stuff like that. And I as soon as I started doing that, my channel like grew even faster. So I don't know if that's like actually a thing or if it was just luck, but that actually happened. And then you can also monetize through like selling a course, and not being a
Yeah.
scammer like Kevin David was, but actually like talking about stuff that you know what you're talking
That
about.
you actually are doing and making
Yeah.
money from, and it will be a shortcut for people that are starting out, right? Rather than watching like gazillion videos, they go through step by step, and right,
Right.
there's different ways of learning. Some people want the shortcut way, and some people want the hard way, which is just going through stuff. You might make mistakes and all of that, but each to their own. But yeah,
As
it's
long
it's
as
a
you
great
get
way
to
of
where you
monetizing. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just as long as you figure it out. Like, because for me, my FBA journey, like, I couldn't figure it out, and I had to pay a coach. But me and you relate on that. We're doers. We get stuff done. If it requires paying for help, like
yeah,
rather than live in a reality where we fell short of our goals and we just kind of we just forget about it. Like we're like, no, I'm gonna actually get this done, even if it requires a course. Like I'm not saying that means you have to have a course to be successful, but like if you're actually serious and you can't figure something out on your own, but you can pay for somebody who's like an expert to help you, like there's no shame in that.
exactly.
That's why I offer my courses. People who want them, they're there. And so yeah, in terms of making money, complimentary YouTube, offering the courses, and I'm an affiliate for software like My Designs, but it's not just that I'm like an affiliate pushing it. I also put tutorials out to
You're
help
using
people
it
who
as well.
use my link
Yeah.
succeed. You know what I mean? It's an investment. Like you spend whatever it costs to join. There's different pricing, and if you actually use the software, like it's crazy what's possible.
Beautiful. And then obviously you've got, brand deals. There's all sorts of things that you can do with YouTube. So anyone who is interested, just start, right? Why
Yeah,
why not? Right? What's
it's
there to
hard at
stop you?
first, and it gets easier.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And if you don't want to show your face, there's a lot of people doing, faceless channels. Then maybe do that. If you don't want to talk, then maybe, I don't know, use AI. Do whatever you want to do. Just start if that's what you want to do. Just go and do it. That's the thing. If you want to do
Yep.
something, do it. Don't wait, because waiting is not going to get you anywhere. Right. So I think we were planning to do a section on mindset, and we already kind of tackled it, didn't we? I think we spoke about
Just
mindset a
about,
little
man.
bit. Is
Yeah,
there
I'd say
anything else you want to add?
I believe in like the positive thinking, can help manifest that in your
Yeah,
reality just based on personal experience. It's one thing to like believe it but not have lived it, but like literally throughout my life, even when I didn't believe it, you know what I mean? Thinking
yeah,
back, like I put it out mentally in the universe, and not that it meant like, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like instant gratification, but my life has been a story of that. You know what I mean? Like really, like, and I made a regular. I know I don't know how most people do, but like I was good about visualizing where I wanted to be in my life, like setting time at least once a week, like literally dedicating time to doing that. You know what I mean? Which is not something that life gets so busy. But even if it's just you're going 9 to 5 sitting in traffic, take time to like think about where you are and where you want to be, and it's not just money, obviously. It's like real life, real life stuff. Like, are you happy in your
yeah.
relationship? Do you want to like be healthier? All that stuff, man, and just act on it. Make a plan and just act.
And actually, like closing your eyes and feeling that person you want to become. Like even smell the smell that you might be smelling when you become that person. Seeing the the scenery that you're looking at, like kind of teleporting yourself from where you are now to the person you want to be. I know it gets like crazy visualization and all of that, but it really has some kind of effect, I believe, because I've always wanted to be better than what I want. I've always like pictured how I want to become, and then slowly but surely I'm getting there. You know what I mean? I'm definitely nowhere where I want to be. There's like the road is it's basically a journey, right? And when you get to that destination, it's not the final destination. You know, and I know that you want to, go further, right?
Keep going.
So
Yeah.
there's keep going, like set new goals, set new parameters that you want to destroy, right? So I think that's a really really good advice, mate. And for
Keeps
people
life
out there that
interesting.
yeah, exactly. For people out there that doubts that this is real, making money online, and there's always competition, and the world is against them, and all of that, they are full of negativity. What can we say to kind of, help them or steer them towards a positive path?
Yeah, I know everybody's situation is different, so no amount of like words from me is gonna change like a tough situation. But I think honestly, like we just mentioned, if you're willing to give it a shot, even if you don't believe it, I really do think that a lot starts in the mind. You know what I mean? It starts with a thought and it can manifest in this like physical reality. But that might just be through action. It's like if I think I need to pee and I walk over and take a piss in the bathroom, it's like, okay, well, that worked. You know what I mean? But like it can, I think, go much further than that in scope. And I think like just, oh man, it sucks to, have you ever heard the phrase fake it till you make it? You know what I mean?
I've
Like,
heard of it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, like that can be
Definitely.
huge. Yeah, just be that person you want to be, even if you're not that person yet. Like
Yeah,
act as they would. You know what I mean? Like all the things that you think that person in your head that you really want to be. Like when you're thinking of your future self, right? Future you. Like
yeah.
emulate that. Emulate that
Emulate.
person is
Yeah,
the word.
yeah.
Emulate that person. You know what I mean? And with the online business stuff, like the way I always like to think of it is bite-sized chunks. Like if you've made 0 sales, make the first sale. If you can make one, what's stopping you from making two? Like legitimately, what is stopping
Exactly.
you from making two? If there's actual things, then find another business model, right? But if nothing's stopping you, 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16, and it just keeps going. Like that's the beautiful thing about print on demand when you have the whole passive workflow. There really aren't barriers. There's no difference between the guy who made 1 sale and 1,000 sales, other than maybe some customer service, right? Depending on where you sell. If it's Amazon merch, there's no customer service. So
Exactly. It's just starting somewhere and stay dedicated to what you need to do to achieve your goal. And like you said, picture where you want to be and live it and visualize it, and basically act it out until you make it. I think that's brilliant advice. So, as a beginner, what should someone do to start doing what you're doing, print on demand? Where does the road start for these people? What is concrete advice you can give them to help them start?
yeah, my best advice is be careful consuming too much content without following through with action. You don't want
Yeah,
to have paralysis by overanalysis. That's another way of just saying that you're not a doer. Join the club of doers, people that get things done. Watching a video counts kind of sorta, but like I always love doing two things at once. So I'll watch a video and I'll be working at the same time, you know what I mean? And taking action, implementing what I'm learning in the video in real time
Yeah.
often. If you're trying to start print on demand, you can join Redbubble right now and list a product right now. Like Redbubble is not the best place for sales, compared to Amazon, for
Yeah.
instance, but at least you can get your first product listed that's purchasable right now, like within, 10, 20 minutes, so it's always good to just, rather than stepping back and feeling overwhelmed with all of the information that and know that you don't know, because there's a learning curve and it's never bigger than when you start. Like literally bite-sized chunks. Like your first design is going to be crap, but your second one's going to be a little
Yeah.
bit better, and it just keeps getting easier, man.
Going from there.
That's really how I see things, man. YouTube, nothing was harder than starting my first YouTube video. Like
Yeah.
nothing was harder than that, man. I stayed up till like 2 or 3 in the morning on a weeknight because I said I'm not going to bed until I'm done. I was like, I'm getting the first video done today.
Yeah.
And it just sometimes takes that discipline.
Yeah. And it was hard, but then the second one got better, the third one better. But now we just like, just record like you're just walking, right? It
Mm-hmm.
becomes second nature. It becomes you do it on autopilot. And that's the thing. You have to learn by doing. You literally there's no amount of videos you can watch that will make you be very good at something. It's always the videos getting the input and then the output. You have to act out and apply what you're learning. You cannot just learn because, you can watch like thousands of videos of someone playing football, right? But then to become a very good football player, what do you have to do? You have to actually get in there and dribble and try and do tricks and learn skills and get your coordination together, hand and eye coordination, left and eye coordination, etc. Your speed, there's so many skills you have to learn, and your body has to learn them, right? It's not just by watching, right? And it's the same thing. You can watch
Absolutely.
so many videos, but without applying, you will not get anywhere. And a lot of people give up because they do not apply. They just keep getting overwhelmed just by watching and consuming too many videos. So that's great advice there, man. Appreciate that. Any final
Yeah.
words?
No, it's been a pleasure being here. I wish everybody success, you know what I mean? But I wish people success that really want it for themselves. Like, I always want to make that distinction because there's people who are, it's like, what do you want to be? They're like, rich. It's like, no, like, what do you want to be? Like, what do you want to do with your life? Like having money in a bank account doesn't mean anything. Like, if, you know what I mean? If you just snapped your fingers to have it and then you're still the same person. Like, I just challenge everybody. Honestly, we had like a little bit of a motivational talk. Like, just be a better version of yourself every day. Like literally tomorrow, you're a better version of yourself than you were today. And if that just means making a little bit of money because you worked hard at an online business, fine. But if there's other things in your life that you want to change and, you know what I mean, improve, just, challenge yourself. Like nobody's perfect. And it's always like we agreed, like it's fun to aspire to be better. It keeps things interesting and challenging. And yeah.
It keeps you going, right?
Yeah.
And you never feel depressed, man. That's the thing. A lot of people are like complaining about depression. Not that it's not real. There's some people that are depressed, and I've never felt it, man. I don't know. Have you?
I have had like a chemical depression, man, for like a week of my life once. Like
Okay.
literally randomly, but it went away. Thank God, man. It was like
God.
truly miserable. Yeah. It might've been like, I
Right.
don't even know. Could have been in my gut, dude. I don't know. You know how like there's a gut brain axis? I've thought about that before. I don't know, but
Yeah.
it was like 1 week of my life and never again. So
That's crazy. I feel like I've been down, but never like to the point where it was like, like I couldn't live. You know what I mean? It's just it's interesting, like talking to different people and their life experiences. I could understand that some people, yes, could get depressed, but for me, it just has never happened to me. So I could not like relate and could not make it a reality for myself. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, dude,
So
there was a guy in our space that, not to make this video any longer, but like, I forget
yeah,
his
of
name.
course.
It was Dan Voss. You can look it up. He just posted a video after being gone for
Yeah.
years. It was like a 4-hour long video. And I watched the whole thing, man. Like literally like what he went through, he was being poisoned. That's the whole thing. And he was getting like heavy metal poisoning. And he
Uh-huh.
talks about how it messed with his mind for years, dude. And this is like a healthy, fit dude. But like if you
Wow.
maybe consumed like the wrong thing or like, poison or something like that, it can actually like alter your state of mind, like in a real way. So I don't know. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
for
saying? Like
real.
it's like there's a lot of stuff to this life that we don't necessarily understand completely,
Yeah.
but that story was crazy.
Cool. I'll definitely watch it, like to check it out. Definitely, man. Look, appreciate your input in this video, man. It's been absolutely great. Maybe we can do another one at some point in the near future. I'm sure we will.
Do my channel.
Maybe at your channel. Yeah, perfect. That'll be great. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm sure you enjoyed it just like we did. And if you'd like about something else, let us know down below in the comments. Go follow Ryan's channel, Ryan Hogue. Just type it on YouTube. He will pop up there. It talks about all things print on demand, making money online, etc., etc. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.